Morning Stampers, and Meg from LovenStamps, and I'm coming to you with another Maker Mornings with Meg. So I apologize if there's a lot of background noise. The city is jackhammering up the street behind my house, so you know, sometimes cameras filter things out. But anyway, I apologize in advance if there's extra noise. But today's card is going to feature our Flowering Rain Boots stamp set and the coordinating dies. Here you go. These are the products that I'm featuring in the month of April. We're still in April. And the stamp set is a great one with lots of fun spring images, some pretty tulips. I've shown 3 different cards to use this one already. We have our one here, our Mango Melody card. We have the tag card that I showed most recently, the 2-packet tag, and a third one, which I don't see right now. So, oh, here it is. I was like, couldn't remember what it was. Our third one here, which is this fun fold-out card where everything comes out just like that. So these are the tutorials that are available for LovenStamps Monthly Tutorials for the month of April. All right, you guys ready to see some stamping? Let's kick off this Monday morning with a project. So morning, everybody. Thanks for popping on, guys, Trish and Sue, and I think we're a little slow, Kelly, for Facebook notifications again. But anyway, I'm gonna flip you guys down and we will get started here with our stamping. So like I said, when you get your project kits for these, so if you order at least $50 during the month of April, you'll get a kit for 2 projects in the mail from me, and this is one of the ones you'll get. So I kind of wanted to show you a little bit about how those pieces come together. So in here are going to be 3 strips of designer series paper. Today's project is an amazing one for making the most of all the scraps. So like you cut the paper here, you cut the paper for this, you cut the paper for this, you end up with a lot of strips of DSP in the bottom of your bag. And if you remember way back to the very beginning, I started this video series to share my LovenStamps Studio with you guys and give studio tours. And the very second episode, so episode number 2, talked about designer series paper and how I store it. So I keep these in LP record cases. You can find them around here at estate sales a lot. They're an outstanding way to keep 12 by 12 paper because they're about the same size as an LP and they're tough, so they protect the corners of your paper. But the other thing to note about the way I keep my paper is I always have scraps in the bottom of the bag. And so these make it really easy for me to do little strippy card techniques. So this month I taught you guys how to use your designer series paper strips to make sort of faux ribbons like on our tag here. Little strips here like on this sort of ground here. Strips here like along the side of a card. But you can see how useful it is to have these little strips saved here and contained inside here. So today's card is going to be a 3-strippy technique where basically you just need 3 strips about 1 inch wide of designer series paper. And the great thing about the Stampin' Up papers is that you can mix and match anything. You can always get the colors from the back of the paper there, but the papers are all coordinated, right? So there's fronts and backs and all of the colors go together. So pick any 3 and you will be in good shape. So here's the 3 I've got here. I often kind of flip them over to see if I like maybe one side better than the other. I think I'm gonna go with these actually. Okay. So we have our 3 strips kind of here ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base in half. So this is Poppy Parade. So you got your 3 strips, you've got a stamp set, and our stamp set of course is Flowering Rain Boots. And then I'm gonna pick an image kind of here to go on the front of our card. Now 3-strip cards can be vertical like this, they can be horizontal. There's all different kind of ways to put them together, but we'll kind of play around with what how we want to put this one together. So I'm going to grab out of here my stamps. Oops, you see I got my stuff saved in there. I'm gonna grab stamps, my watering can, which is a fabulous image. So if you have gardening friends, of course you can use this all year long because we're all fans of keeping our gardens pretty. But if you are looking for springtime, the watering can is an excellent image here. So I need my little black, this one I think is the best fit here. So now I'm gonna pull my colors from the paper to use with our card. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp us a piece of Poppy Parade, or a set of Poppy Parade flowers. We've got this here. And then I really want a nice contrast for our watering can. So I'm gonna go with Blackberry Bliss, which is from the Designer Series paper set, even if it's not featured in the colors that were picked for this particular card. I think it's a nice, that red and purple is a nice contrast. So it really stands out beautifully. And the color that I'm using for this is Blackberry Bliss, which is a nice, super saturated purple. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this on here. And one of the great things about this stamp and the poppies, it's just easier to see on the watering can, is that you get a really cool like textured effect from the stamp. That's just in the stamp here. There's no like coloring or shading or anything like that needed. So it's just ready to go. All right, then I'm gonna use our Rain Boots dies. And we have our watering can here that goes right there. And we have the flowers here that go right here. And so then you guys know I would go ahead and grab some washi tape. And the great thing about washi tape is that it is easy to remove, and you can stick your dies on there and then carry them to your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you are ready to go. So, okay. All right, so then through the magic of television, I have, ta-da, the dies already cut. So then we have our image here ready to go on our card. All right, so we've got our contrast and we've got our match, okay? Now, the three pieces here, how would we want to use them? We would want to go ahead and slide these here kind of behind. So let's see, let's make a set of 3 strips and then we'll kind of play with how we might use them. So generally, unless I'm putting stuff exactly in the center, which we certainly could, let's see. So I feel like that's a little too centered for us. The image itself has kind of a direction, right? Like if this can was going to take action, it would get picked up here and it would get tipped up like this, and we would pour the water out of it. That's the noise falling water makes apparently. So I want to set this up rather than, I wouldn't want to put it over here because then like the action of the can is going off the edge of the card. I know this maybe seems a little weird, but you want to set up your format so that you have room for whatever that thing is to take action or to move, or right? Like if you were going to put a cute bird like these sweet songbirds from this sneak peek set, you wouldn't put this bird right up against the edge of the card necessarily, unless it was like with an invitation to open the card. But you certainly wouldn't put this bird right up against this edge leading off the card. You want the action of the item to like lead your eye, okay? I know, is that too weird? I don't know. A watering can has action, I suppose. Anyway, so let's go ahead and slide this back to this side so that we have room for that action to occur, okay? So now this is very pretty, obviously, and I really like it, but I feel like it's a little bit, well, I feel like it could be set off better by adding a white layer behind. What do you guys think? Are you with me, against me? I like the way this goes because I feel like the can really stands out this way. When there's no white behind, it gets, I think, a little lost. Like the competing colors, the red is really strong and so forth. So sliding that white behind there really helps to bring the focus back to the watering can. All right. Okay. So let's do this now. I like, we could spread these strips out like this, but I feel like that sort of splits our attention again. So let's get them really tight in with each other. And there we go. I know they're not quite straight, but really tight in kind of leaves the focus then back on our watering can. You guys with me on this? All right, let's see. Tanya says she loves the sound effects. I am so happy to hear that. we have all great ones, right? Hi, Cindy. Yeah, so we heard lots of amazing sound effects this weekend. Actually, so my son is in a youth orchestra here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this while we talk. My son's in a youth orchestra, and this weekend they played with the Champaign-Urbana Symphony Orchestra, which is an adult professional ensemble. They're amazing, and the kids got to play alongside them, which was really fun. And so it was a really neat opportunity. And sound effects, they played Pines of Rome by Respighi, and there's like a bird track in there. And so my son said that when they were in rehearsal, apparently the bird track in this piece was really loud, and the director had to ask for it to be turned down. I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back. And he said they want it to sound like sweet songbirds, not like hawks swooping in to eagles swooping in for the kill. So anyway, kind of funny. Okay, so it's all about the sound effects, Tanya. So let's see, I have our pieces here, and you'll notice that I kind of switched them around. So it's really subtle, but the green is the grass, so it's the bottom. The blue is the sky, so it's at the top. And then I also have sort of slanted these into different places, so they're not really all lined up here at the side. I could do the center one out or the center one in. And maybe let's talk about our greeting and figure out which one we want to do based on our greeting, because we still need a greeting on this card. So I've got my Live Life in Full Bloom stamp, which is a really nice sentiment. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp it in Poppy Parade. Let's see, Kathy says that she likes the strips close together. She made a batch of this card over the weekend. Oh, I love that. Yes, and it is a great way to use your designer series paper stash. Okay, so through the magic of television, I haven't cut those out yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and start here. I've got our Life in Full Bloom. I could cut this into a square, a rectangle. I could use one of my cool shape dies. Let's just go with a circle. So let's see, I'll just restamp it. And just kind of keep it simple, right? Because there's a lot going on here between our paper and our watering can. So now we need to find a home for this element on our card. So we could put it up here, we could put it here, we could put it here. And honestly, this is how I design. I just kind of keep trying stuff. I don't want to put it here because that's getting our can too close to the edge. So I think like here is the place that I'm most comfortable with. So now knowing that, I'm going to bring our strips back just a little bit and start to pull them off. Now, when I do this, so that I can kind of get them set where I want them, I will often pull them off one strip at a time so that they are being placed back on in the element order and location and so forth that I was intending. So now I pay attention and try and get them fairly straight. A little hint, you can get away with being crooked as long as they're straight against each other. So let's see, there we go. Okay, and now I need to take my strips and trim them here. If I hadn't attached to my white layer already, this would probably be a little easier. I could use my trimmer, but we will hopefully make it work. Let's see. So note to self, if you're making this card with your kit and following the video, go ahead and put your strips on your white layer before you glue the white layer down. That'll be a little easier. Okay, so now we have our element to go here, and then we're gonna work on some simple ways to embellish this card using both cardstock and the embellishment options that we have at our disposal. I'm gonna pop that there. Okay, so embellishments at our disposal. We have the butterflies that we've used on some of our other cards. So I'm gonna grab some of those. They are my favorites, so I keep moving them around. There we go. Okay. I've used a zillion of these, but here's our cute little butterfly here on this one. I think, yeah, there we go. So let's pop a butterfly on this. let's see, I think one of the larger ones, maybe kind of just up there. I like it. So it's sort of associated with the flowers and so forth. And then we have another chance to use some sort of elements from this, because the die set has in it not only the tulips and this fun sort of frame piece that we used here on our flowering boots card, but it has this really great garden trowel, the little claw tool, which is, by the way, like an excellent garden tool. I love mine. And so I went ahead and used our Blackberry Bliss cardstock so that it would bring this purple back in, because usually you want to use a color once, you want to use a color twice. If you use a color once, you should use a color twice. That makes sense? Yep, Sue's happy with the butterfly bling, and I'm glad you're here, Doris. So I'm going to set this here kind of on the side, just like it was leaning up against the side of the pot there, the side of the watering can. And for something so fine and detailed, I think the easiest way to attach that is with multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm gonna pop this on here, kind of just like so, right across that, that white bright spot line from our paper. Now, these little tiny bits of designer series paper I might not save, but since I have my scraps out still, I'll just go ahead and tuck them in there. But definitely, I hope that you guys have gotten some ideas for some great ways to use your scraps, for some great ideas for kind of, you know, where to position your images. So we got our watering can here, so it's room for it to, you know, take action or whatever. And then some sort of fun ideas for how to pick colors and pull them from our designer series paper. So. All right, guys. Well, that is us for Monday morning, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday for another Make Your Mornings with Meg. In the meantime, we are running down towards the end of the annual catalog, the current one, which this one. So make sure you're checking the last chance list for the last few things from here that you might need. Next Monday is the very last day for that book. So don't miss that. And if you are in need of a copy of the new annual catalog, make sure you message me, and so I can get that in the mail to you. You can message, or honestly, there's a link in the video description to my website at LovenStamps.com, and the easiest way to request a catalog is to go under shop and catalogs on that page and fill out the request a catalog form. So. All right, guys, I hope that you are off to a fabulous start for your week and you have great things planned, that you enjoyed your weekend. Ours was packed with orchestra and Fiddler on the Roof. The debut Fiddler on the Roof was splendid. Soccer games, kind of all the things this weekend. But I look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday with another project. And in the meantime, happy stamping and have a good week. Bye-bye, guys.